the webinar because we didn't send it to anybody. Okay, so I have to hit broadcast, and then I'm gonna hit, when we're ready in 1 minute, I'll put live on Facebook. And I'm gonna.
So it says, please wait, the webinar will begin soon.
Oh yeah, so I have to hit start. So I'm gonna.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm gonna hang up my phone.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, my exciting background. I actually just ordered a light because my lighting has been so bad.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
Yeah, this is better, but last week the lighting was terrible. Okay. So I'm gonna pull this up on my phone just to make sure it's really working, and then I'll just start it. And I guess I'll broadcast. You know, I did it to my personal, but I guess they say broadcasting to your business page is better.
Yeah, broadcast your.
Yeah.
You look so pretty.
Oh my God, thank you. Oh, you look great too. Although I was told, who was it? Someone, Karen or someone said, don't use these white backgrounds.
That's okay. I actually was told to wear lipstick, so let me put some on.
Yeah.
If I have any.
That I've been told. So as much as
okay, I'd rather be punctual than my lips, but I'll
okay.
say this red chapstick makes a big difference. All right, we're up. It's 2:15.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna hit start now. Hold on. Let's see, because I have to hit broadcast live. Oh my God, and I'm enable live stream. Hold on. I love the okay. Hold on a second. Okay, I should quit that one.
I can always do it on my Be Live and
no, you know what? It was I'm trying to do both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Okay, let me just do Facebook. I don't care if it works on YouTube or not. Okay, live on Facebook. We should be going live now. Let's see. Share on your timeline. I'm going to share on my page. Go live. Okay, so supposedly there's a delay. So let's assume.
I'm just going to hang up on the.
And now you're getting a call. Okay, preparing to stream the live webinar, setting up your webinar. Okay, it's happening.
Perfect.
Great. Hi, everybody. I think we are actually here live on Facebook. I hope you can hear us okay. We are still learning how technology works and getting it right. So yes. I have Missy Strasner with me today. Hey, Missy, thank you so much for joining. How are you?
Hi, thanks. Huh?
How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. So I know, you know, Missy also does something similar to me. We both do business coaching. We both help people really get clear on their mission, their purpose, their value, and what they're going to bring to the world and learn how to make money doing it. But the reality is, we were just talking a few minutes ago, the reality is everybody struggles with the same thing. And I know both of us with our clients really spend so much time working on mindset almost more than anything. Like to me, it's the number one that comes up more than any strategy or marketing or sending emails or whatever it is. So we figured it'd be really great to talk about this. So Missy, tell us, before we start in questions, tell the audience a little bit more about, you know, you and what you do and your journey onto your path, because I always love to hear everybody's journey.
Yeah, thanks, Beth. Hi, you guys. So I'm Missy. I'm based out of San Diego. I did live in New York for a couple years, Beth, and like we have so much to talk about when it comes to New York. And we talk a lot about living I think you told me about this, but someone else is
that was.
Okay. A location, is it location free or location neutral lifestyle? And that is part of my vision in developing my consulting business / coaching business. So what I do is I help current and budding entrepreneurs really figure out what they want to do, what they're selling, get clear on their vision, their mission, and so their business and their life, living an inspired life. And I help them really make it happen. So execute it. And, Beth and I were talking right before this, and so much of it is about mindset and personal leadership and how you're running your life and really going after what you want. And so I really focus with my clients about getting them to the next level in their life and in their business so that they live an inspired life and they have the opportunity to make money and live in a location neutral or location freedom space.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, that's, this is basically what I do. And I we both know that anybody's capable of doing this. And I was actually just telling Missy, it's funny that we talk about mindset today, because I actually just got off the call with someone who was telling me how she's essentially homeless. She's living out of her car. She has no money. She has no job. She's very sick. But you know what? Halfway through the call, her mindset, with some coaching, her mindset completely shifted. Her voice really lit up. We strategized together on how she could actually start making some money with very little cost, very little energy, and really, turn her dream into a business. And it actually, it is possible. Like it's really shifting what's going on, shifting that story. Now, I know, we've both been dealing with some personal challenges recently. Now, can you tell people a little bit more about, your story and how you have gotten on to, like doing what you're doing and gotten through all these hurdles and challenges, with a smile on your face, with a really good attitude? Like, how do you get through some of your biggest challenges in life? Like, what are the tips?
Yeah. Okay. So, we all have our stories with adversity and circumstances that come up that interrupt or give us I'm really mindful, just so you know, you guys, I'm super mindful of the languaging that I choose to use and the words and the energy that I'm putting out. And so I feel like that is it's a mindset tweak, because it gives me the chance to slow down and really think about what am I bringing to the table and how am I thinking things differently. So I will step back into my experience and the getting through my personal experiences and adversity and my story. But I do want to say how important that is for me and my coaching and with my clients. And I feel like coming from that space of just being a little bit more responsible for my words makes a really big difference. So my story is, in terms of my overcoming adversity, has been leaving a corporate job where I worked in LA, New York, or LA, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica in medical sales for about 6 years. And then I moved out to New York to continue to do that. I really continued to do that job from day one to make money, and I never felt purposeful doing it. I mean, I'm such a creative being. I feel like I have like a million ideas all the time. I love to help people, so that was there. But to the capacity, I was always interested in helping them build their business and the consulting side of it versus what I was actually doing. And so for a lot of my life, most of it actually, I was living without purpose. And because of that, I was choosing coping mechanisms that felt, you're like, yeah. That felt to serve me at the time. And it was a habit. It was the one thing that made me feel like I could escape this feeling of emptiness that wasn't coming from my job necessarily, or feeling lack of purpose. Behind that, underneath it, I had done self-development work, and it was, all of it comes down to confidence. So for me, and what I truly believe is the mindset and confidence piece, and they're so intertwined. So to bring you up to speed, I lived in New York. I left there. I was really struggling and had relapsed from an eating disorder, again, due to feeling like just not knowing. I had the answer of like, I don't know what I want for a long time, but I knew I wanted to help people, and I knew I loved business, and I knew I could make a difference. I just needed to get my stuff together. So I started doing consulting, and then it developed into coaching. And then it evolved to personal leadership, high performance coaching, and then specifically now into strategy, helping people get clear and basically supporting them to get, helping them get from where they're at, because I've been able to come out of that. So helping them get strategic, focused, and living a life on fire.
Yeah, I love it. I actually laugh because it's so much like my own story, to the point where I remember when I graduated from college and I was like, I had the job that I hated right out of college and used to cry every day. My parents were like, why don't you go into medical device sales? Because it was like really good money, and it was, at the time, pharmaceutical sales, whatever it was. And I know it's a great career, but I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I would kill myself. And I was already, on that same path, like on a corporate path. I had a pretty good job, a good trajectory, was getting paid well, but I was like, my soul was being eaten alive, and I knew there had to be more. And I got to that breaking point of, like, I can't do this anymore. Let me figure out what's next. And went on to a very similar journey, like switched careers, started consulting, started a business, and, like really found what it was that I loved to do the most. And it's interesting you say, like, you really help people, get clear and start living like they're on fire, living on purpose. And all of us, it's interesting as a business coach, I find that this is one of the biggest issues, is really just the sense of like, people who know they want something else, they just don't know how to get there and don't know what it is. And they're very stuck in this jumbled head of like, fear, money, like, life, what is it about? What am I here to do? And then, I always think of it as almost like being stuck in these two worlds. The one world is that whole, like, you must make a ton of money, even if you're miserable. Mm-hmm. That's this old paradigm that, I used to believe in for a long time. And then it's this like, wait, can I really make money doing something that I love? And, a lot of people struggle with that, right? They're like, oh, but how is that possible? Like, how the woman I just talked to literally said, I've discovered how to cure my son's, major chronic illness with all these natural remedies. How can I ever make money teaching people this? And I was like, wow, that's like a no-brainer to me. But I'm
like, well, here's one way.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I know people making really good money doing this. So tell me like a little bit about your experience with people who are struggling with, figuring out their purpose and figuring out what's next, and how to really, I love that you are a high performance coach. Like, how to really take your life to that next level, like how to be a high performing human. Like, mm-hmm. What do you teach people, and what do you deal with the most?
Well, if we're going to stay on the topic of mindset as it relates to that, and what I teach people in terms of getting clarity, is so much of it is about, you talked about the word possibility, of letting them, I get a lot of answers and feedback, which, again, I coach what I knew, I coach who I was, and it's always a mirror, right? So it's like, what do you want? And I get stuck with a lot of I don't knows, or, what do you want to sell, or how do you want to develop this? Or, the fear comes in, or, it shows up as I don't know. But the truth is, like, it's like, I want to meet Oprah and freaking have an interview and be on her stage. It's not like I don't know that. Maybe I don't want to say it, maybe in the wrong company, they're going to laugh at me or look at me like I'm freaking crazy. But I still want that. I still want to meet Oprah and talk to her and like have her for dinner, and it is possible, right? Mm-hmm. So it's totally possible. It depends on what strategy and how hard I work and what I'm doing in order to make that happen, for example. But I think that for people who are not clear, or they don't know what they want, or they want to get that clarity, it's really giving themselves permission to think really big. And so many times I know you know this, like, this is like what you coach. This is, I understand. But it's
we all get stuck though. What? I mean, we all get stuck on this. I was stuck on this just the other day, like, frozen.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say?
I'm frozen. Like I get stuck on this, every time I want to grow or start a new project or expand, it's like, getting to that next level.
Yeah. So it's like giving yourself permission to think big and start doing one thing at a time, like that you really like, that's going towards that. Like kind of just giving yourself space to start doing the things that you like, mm-hmm. And growing it and asking and get, our business coach talks a lot about like, get obsessed with what you're into. Like, make it your job to really give yourself space to dream big and then start taking action on it, you know, like one thing at a time. And if you want to develop a business in it, or you have your business and you want to elevate it to the next level, it's going to take you operating from the right mindset of like, I got this. And you get to be and do whatever it takes to be in the mindset of I got this, because you're not going to get the results if you're living your life lacking confidence, lacking clarity. Even if you know one thing that you are interested in, don't get stuck on, but I don't know, like it was this or this, you know, the perfectionism comes in, and it's like, just pick something and see what happens and go for it, as opposed to staying stuck. You know, I always call it to my clients, taxiing at an airport, like get on the plane and go to a destination and like check it out. So does that help you?
I love that analogy. That's a good one. I know I call it paralyzation, perfection paralyzation, because I went through this big time when I launched my last business. And thank God I had this really tough mentor who was just like, what, you know, no, stop being stuck on things. Just keep going. Like, put it out there. It doesn't matter. And I talk about this all the time. I actually just, you know, did some pro bono work last night and said the same thing. I was like, look, like, you know, I give this Nike example because my other business is actually in the running apparel business. But
yeah, you're such a badass, by the way. Whoever's watching, Beth is such a badass, by the way.
Sometimes. No, I'm kidding.
Totally hire her, period. Okay.
No, but because I spent years studying the market, my running market, and I know a lot about consumer products. So, I say Nike is a $16 billion company. It's pretty damn big, and everybody in the world knows Nike. But when they started back in the late 60s or early 70s, they started with one product, right? And they just put it out there. And at the time, it was good enough. It was just, that was their goal, was like, let's put out the best shoe we can put out for now. And it just kept evolving and evolving. And it's this whole idea of like, you know what, like the friends that I was helping last night are musicians. And I was like, look, like, just put it out. You can change, you're going to evolve. You can change anything. You can change your, the name of your band if you really want to eventually. You can change the art on your YouTube. It's just like getting it out there, just putting it out and keep going. And it was the same thing that comes up, even though, these guys perform on stage in front of people. One of them said, well, I'm scared. And I was like, of what? It's just this like, I mean, I get it, but I'm like, okay, just every little step you take gets you past that fear, gets you past that stage of inaction. Because, if you live in this fear for so long, like just sitting there, like thinking about something over and over and over, like, and I went through this before I launched my other business. I spent like 8 years thinking about it because I was like, how would I do this? Oh, I can't do this. Like, I'm not good enough to do this. I don't know enough to do this. And it was just pure fear. And then it was kind of like I almost had no choice but to do it because it was eating me alive. And I was given the time and given a break from jobs. And I was like, you know what? I'll do this now. So I really love what you said. It's so true. And it's so funny how many, I mean, it's not funny, but I do laugh because everybody I know struggles with it, like at some level.
Yeah, whether you're starting or scaling or growing or changing, it comes back to, you talk about all the adversities personally, but the professional adversities of, you start in one direction and it's not going to ever be perfect. It's like, exactly. All of a sudden you're like, well, actually I want to coach this instead. And this is where I'm going with this. But it started, you're babysitting cats. The next thing you know, you're like starting a business for dogs.
It's great. Now I'm curious. So this is what I went through recently. I like to blame it on the fact that I had the flu the other week and was like just kind of sick, and the weather's been all gloomy in New York, and it was February. But, I went through this 2-week period of just being like totally uninspired, right? Like I have this to-do list, it's like 2 pages long. I have, things I want to grow into and things I want to put out there. But I was just like dead, brain dead, like not motivated. I had stuff going on in my personal life, which I know, like these things can take over. But what do you say to someone who gets in that that lull, like Seth Godin, I don't know if you know him, like he talks about this dip, like getting, like every business goes through these dips, but if you can learn how to get past them, then you keep growing. But, sometimes it feels like so overwhelming where I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to break out of this. And I'm totally uninspired. And what if I'm uninspired for the next 6 months? And how am I ever going to create my new, my next vision? But how do you help people through these lulls?
Yeah. So, it's interesting. I get to look at what my coaching is. Sometimes it's so much easier to coach someone else, right? But I'd say to get through the lulls, it's, I think that there's something to be said for being in the lull and like just checking out why you're in the lull. And not like getting so afraid to get out of it so quickly of like, I need to get motivated and I got to figure shit out. Sorry. Hi. I got to figure things out. And then focusing on, making a list, doing the brain dump or doing a list of everything that you want to accomplish and then refocusing on, you have your laundry list of things that are that you're up to for the next year. And am I going to get motivated? And your mind's spinning, but calming it down and looking at what really matters right now, like picking a couple things and just starting on those, and like, I watched this really great video. I think they posted in our mastermind the other day. It was a graduation speak at the University of Austin. Oh, yeah. And he talks about just like a Navy SEAL. I think it was like the general of the Navy SEALs. Don't quote me on this. But what I took away from it is, I make my bed every morning and that's a win for me. It's just celebrating the small wins and just be okay with being a little bit in a lull sometimes and feed yourself what it needs. Maybe that's what, you need some time because like, especially if you're in business or whatever you're doing in your life, things are going to come at you and they will tax you a little bit. So it's like, all right, being responsible to be in the lull. What are you going to do in the lull? Are you going to feel shitty about yourself? Are you going to give yourself, I love that word today, you guys. Are you going to give yourself some time to be in a lull and then make a decision that you're going to get out of it after a certain amount of time. And if you want to go back into the lull, it's always going to be there.
True, right?
So pick a couple things, give yourself a time limit, check in with yourself, take a step back and look at the big picture of what you want to accomplish. And just, again, it goes back to mindset every single time,
I love that you say this because I had to talk myself through this whole process of, being okay, being in this kind of 2 or 3 week long, it felt like the whole month of February. It was just kind of a lull. One point I was like, you know what, there's a fun project that I'm working on that actually doesn't make me any money, but it's something I'm really passionate about. And I was like, you know what, I'll just do that today. And it's okay. Kind of like the Marine making, or whatever, whoever it is, Navy SEAL making his bed. Like, it's true. Like, hey, I got out of bed. I ate healthy. I went to yoga and I wrote down the to-do list. And you're right. It's always temporary. Like now I just, came out of the lull. I got over my sickness and now it's like, okay, now I'm like starting again. So I love it. Great coaching. Now, we're almost out of time, but I really wanted people to learn a little bit more about, what you do, what you offer, how to find you. Tell everybody a little bit more.
Great. So if you want to reach out to me, I have my coaching business page, Missy Strasner Coaching. I do a Facebook show every Thursday at 12, which Beth will be on soon, where I interview people to inspire my audience and really expand out to the world of people that are living a badass life and what that means to them, getting over adversity and how they have started, what they're up to in their life. And it's not just solely for entrepreneurs. However, my audience, most people that I work with or that I'm talking to want to leave corporate or want to leave their job and really start their own business or build it. So yeah, in terms of, that goes back to what I do is I help people like rock their business and rock their life out and really help them get past what's not working and I'm a strategist. I'm an idea person, and I really do coaching and consulting. And I love what I do, and I love really focusing on confidence and mindset as the basis of everything, because again, to our point in this entire conversation, is it goes back to mindset every time. And I also think it's really important to put yourself around really awesome, powerful people that also carry you out of the lull, and can hold you high to say, all right, it's good. So yeah, that's where you can find me. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much. No, it's so true. I always tell people, get accountable with someone, whether it's a coach or a group or both, both is even better. It makes such a difference to have someone keeping you on track, keeping you in check, and really, like you said, choosing the right words in your language. Like even earlier today, I was speaking to someone about, I'm getting ready to sell my apartment, and I said one thing that was a little on the questioning negativity, like I question the weather, and he's like, what? Be positive. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, it's just such a simple thing, like choosing the words, choosing your actions, your mindset, staying on the steps, and keep going and growing and getting past all those fears and all the things that have been stopping you. And really, I love what you said, like living life on fire, because that's the whole point, right?
It's not, and it doesn't always, I know we're cut on time, but like, you guys, nothing's perfect. Like, things are going to come on vision, having that be strong enough to keep you going.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Missy Strasner Coaching. Her link is in this Facebook post. I think there's also a link to book a free strategy call with you.
Yes, thank you.
Take advantage of it, everybody. And Missy, thank you so much for being here. This is so fun.
Beth, you're such a rock star. Thank you for having me. You guys reach out. She's amazing.
Thank you. And I will see you on your Facebook show in a week or two, right?
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will be here next week. And I will probably have another really awesome guest on my Facebook Live. Thanks so much, and have a great evening.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.